All right, we are back after a week off with episode 20 of Golden Dice. And with you always, my name is Jack, and I'm your host here. Sadly, the better half is gone, and Shane is finally back from ditching us down the shore.
He's gone.
But it was great that he was gone for a little bit because that meant Zach Bunn insulted him, and it was great.
Yeah, it's great. I love when you guys get like really famous people to come on and just like smash me. Like Bruno Mars is on next week, right? And he's probably going to be like, "Wow, Shane sucks at Destiny." Like,
yeah,
thanks.
Pretty much.
Thanks, Bruno.
We got all the current living presidents lined up. They're all going to come on.
That's great. That's awesome.
We got Trump, Obama, all lined up. They're all coming on.
Sweet. Yeah, we're getting big. I mean, this is episode 20 now, so I mean, we're pretty popular at this point.
Yeah, we're even flying into Disney and doing that president museum. They're going to program them all to say Shane sucks. So
it's gonna be a good day.
Fact. It's gonna be a great day. Trip to Disney.
Yeah. It's gonna be on July 14th on Chip's birthday. That's his present from us.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so last week was just busy for all of us. We weren't able to record. I wasn't able to live stream in place of it. So I wrote just a short article about yellow spoilers. And since then, the spoilers have just kind of taken off like wildfire almost. Yeah. We've got so many. So we'll get into all the ones that came out this past week. But I just want to give Shane a chance to at least touch on the pod racing, the yellow spoilers, simply because he hasn't had a chance to do that. And I already wrote an article about it, so I won't talk too much. But Shane, if you want to, I guess you could even go through the article, starting with the Boon to Eve Classic, the plot.
Yeah, I'll go through some of them. I just want to start. I fundamentally disagree with everything Jack said in the article. First off, yeah. No, these cards they're fun. They're definitely flavorful. I'm happy to be seeing some pod racing, I guess. I'm not like a person who loves pod racing, but the whole thing just seems weird to me, right? Like, it's like these fast vehicles, and I get that they shouldn't be damage based, but they're like the option to mill is there on Anakin's, and then it's like just kind of like just backwards. It feels weird. Like, I like that they all have ambush, and that's like their speed kind of kicking in, but the whole premise seems weird, and I didn't know what pod racing would look like in Destiny, and I didn't think we'd be seeing it this soon. But yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the plot. I don't know if 4 resources is high enough payout for building a pod racer deck, but it intrigues me. I know you talked about Sebulba a good bit. He's not bad for 912, 9 health, 912, 2 damage sides, even though one's indirect. But you can't help but compare him to Towson at that slot, or any other, even Bala at that slot. It's hard to compare him. And if this is the only, we know we have this pod racer, so you got Sebulba's pod racer that his special will work on, and then there was somewhere a gray pod racer on the side of a box, right? Or with Cassian, I think, right? When Cassian got spoiled in that magazine, there was a gray pod racer guy.
I don't remember where it. I think it was in front of Cassian. Yeah. And what he was spoiled. So we know there's another gray one coming.
I mean, it doesn't have to be gray neutral, but I'm guessing it's going to be gray neutral. Like, it could be gray hero, but I'm assuming it's going to be gray neutral at this point.
It'd be kind of real dumb if they gave like hero 2 pod racers and villain just 1. Like, I can't. It just seems unbalanced.
But I also can't see a set with like 4 or 5 pod racer die. So like, I feel like it's going to be a gray neutral. Like, that's the third and final pod racer for the set. Overall, I mean, I think Anakin's pretty playable. I mean, 710, so he's got Ezra's point cost. He's got 7 health. He's got no damage output, but he's got 3 resource sides. So with a card like Smuggling Run, Smuggler's Run, I think it's called. It's from Legacies. It's activate a yellow character. If one of those characters' dice or upgrade dice just rolled a resource, you gain a resource. So if you have one of his dice, you activate him with Smuggler Run with that card, you're 50% chance to get a resource. 2 of his dice, you're at 75, and then if he has any upgrades, you're probably getting him money off of that. So it's like a weird way to run like a logistics type card. So I like that. I obviously love 2 shield sides, as Jack referenced in his thing, and Anakin's pod racer
in everything I talk about.
Listen, 2 shields is such a good side because it's just like 2 extra health, man. There's no characters have it, like, barely, other than, my girl Afra, and I think K2SO has it, right? And it's just
and
Palp, yeah, OG Palp. So yeah, it's just it's just a good side that is, shields. As soon as Vibro Knife got that slight nerf, I feel like shields just went up way high. And I know they added Frighten in Legacies, and I know Intimidate got reprinted, but still, like, that's not going to be in every deck. So shield sides really extend the game. And I think that's what they're going to be pushing for as we go through all these spoilers. I think they're going to be pushing to try to extend the game a round or 2. and I think you're going to see that with more shields coming into play. But yeah, overall, I mean, I can't say I see any of this becoming super competitive. Definitely not Rex, right? I'm pretty amped on Rex, but I think it's a fun flavor that they're adding to the game. I'm glad it's not a huge chunk of the set. So if this is every card we see that has to deal with a pod racer other than that gray one, I'd be okay with that. And that would mean that this is even less playable than it might be if they added more, but I don't want the entire set to be taken up with this because I don't believe this is going to be something super playable. Like especially like pod racer betting, like I feel like that's just bad. I don't know. Do you?
Oh yeah,
I feel like it's just bad.
Like I feel like a pod racer deck could be like, you know, half decent, fun to play around with, but it's like even in that, I would probably never include pod racer betting unless I was literally like, you know what, I just want to play it. I don't care how bad it is. I just want to play it.
And I get, you know, not every card can be competitive. Not every card can be seen in every deck. And if that's the way it's going to be, I'd rather them have something fun like this, right? Like if this isn't going to see the competitive scene, as it's at least going to be fun. Like you and I can sit down and just have like a Boonton Eve, you know, face off, which will be fun. So I mean, I'm cool with that aspect of it. And other than this, I feel like everything we've seen is like pretty dang powerful, though. So
yeah,
we got to be seeing.
I think just the weird thing with pod racer is though, like. I mean, like you said, you don't want the whole set dominating it, but if they just come out with like 5 or 6 cards for it, it's like, what was the point of even doing that? And also going into further sets, it's like you either add more pod racers in the next set or you don't at all. Because then at some point in the rotation, these pod racers would rotate out and the new pod racers would be in. So unless they keep supporting it, it like becomes like an awkward phase. So I don't know. I would hope that they add, at least a gray one here and maybe like 2 more in the next set. Just so they're all in the same block and there's like options, but who knows what'll happen.
For sure, I see what you're saying. If it was outside this block, that'd be really annoying. I guess it's good to mention too. I know you mentioned the article again, but the start your engine. So that's the second tutor card we see in Destiny. So a card that lets you search for a pod racer. So I mean, I'm not saying pod racers are great, but that's a search engine card like that is very powerful. And one other thing, I think Anakin's ability to turn a droid or pod racer die to any side is pretty legit. Like, it's not bad. I mean, pod racer side, sure, you're turning his pod racer to the 2 shield side probably. But if you have droids out there, I mean, they're not villains. So you don't have the BT, you don't have the droid commanders, you don't have like bigger damage dealing droids. But is turning Chopper to a special so you have a free electroshock bad? Like, no, that's not bad. Like turning
or even R2 to the focus,
like or to the special, like anything like that. It's I mean, I feel like Anakin might be the best card from this little set of cards.
Agreed.
But I mean,
definitely agree.
That's probably all I have for yellow. I mean, I love the card, like the yellow color in general, all the cards that go with it, all the flavor they have in that series. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to be playing with these a ton unless we're doing something for fun, you know?
Yeah, it is kind of a shame though that they don't really find a spot in any like deck either. Like Sebulba's maybe could find a spot in like Villain Vehicles if anybody ever plays that, but that doesn't really show its face. But it's even like Anakin's Pod Racer. Do you really play that in Hero Vehicles? Like I don't think so.
I mean,
I think the standard one maybe like the Ayla Rose Ezra, and I think you could even argue dropping Ezra for Anakin to help with resource generation.
Yeah.
You lose that +2 in the resource steal, but I feel like I'd almost rather guarantee a resource than rolling the special and your opponent just, paying $2 and, using their resources.
Yeah, I can see that. And then, you have you could throw the Pod Racer in for the 2 shields consistently. But like in that deck, it's like, what is it? The Republic Cruiser. So it's special resolves. It gives a unique character 2 shields or all your unique characters 1 shield, right? Yeah. That's just seems better. And it's got 2 sides of it, but
I wonder what's better though, like guaranteeing 2 shields to a character on top of like a mill or a discard from hand or the Republic. Yeah, like I don't know. I think I might actually prefer Anakin's Pod Racer.
Yeah, if Anakin's alive, I see what you're saying. Because you get to discard a card from their hand as well. Yeah, I mean,
and even if he dies, it's just like an extra. You know what I mean? Like if I'm getting 2 shields, and I know the Republic Cruiser has the flexibility of doing 1 to each.
Yeah.
Whereas Anakin's Pod Racer is either 1 or 2 shields to a character. Right. But you get that extra mill with it regardless from a deck. Or like you said, if Anakin's alive, you can spot him to discard a random card from opponent's hand. It just seems really potentially strong.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
More so annoying than strong, I guess. It also could help in the mirror, almost. Vehicles have a tough time getting built, and
Yeah,
just even getting rid of a vehicle or two could
yeah.
really
I
just
guess
mess
we're
them
gonna
up.
see. I mean,
But
obviously the archetype should probably still be there, but I guess we'll see if hero vehicles manifest in any way, and if that's one of them,
yeah,
could be a little shift.
cool. All right. Anything else on the yellow spoilers? They've been talked about plenty, but I just wanted to get a
Yeah,
chance for you to give
I
your.
appreciate it, and I guess going into all this, like we know all these spoilers have been talked about a ton, but like we're not doing our job, and if we're not talking about them and theory crafting with each other, and I mean this is fun for us, so if you've heard a ton about these spoilers, hopefully you're coming to hear just our opinions or our different trains of thought about these,
Yeah.
and that's what we're doing. So,
I mean, I think if you turn this on, you just expect, are like, all right, let's hear what Golden Dice says about spoilers.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's everyone's gonna be talking about these. It's crazy news, and the amount of spoilers dropped is insane. So I mean, yeah, I don't think we need to waste any more time on these particular yellow ones.
Yep. Yep. All right, we can move on to the ones that we've got this week. So there were 3 different content creators in an article. So we'll go with the content creators first and just kind of work our way through them. We'll start off with RebelGrey, and he got 3 blue cards. He got the first one he got is Luke's Training. It's a 0 cost hero blue uncommon. It's an event, and it says spot 2 blue characters or Luke Skywalker to play a blue ability from your hand or discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1. He got a upgrade ability called Force Jump, which is a 1 cost, and it has a shield special blank blank. It is a blue character only, and its special is turn a die showing damage to a side showing a blank. Reroll this die instead of removing it, and it is neutral and a rare. And the last one is a 2 cost upgrade ability as well, and it is called There's No Try, and it is 1 melee, 2 melee for $1, a focus, 2 shields for $1. There you go, Shane. A resource, and a blank. Its action says reroll this die, then you may resolve it, increasing its value by 1. Otherwise, remove it, and it is a hero and rare as well. Shane, what are your thoughts on these 3 batches of cards? You can take them one at a time, and also like we'll definitely comment on their playability in standard, trilogy, and a draft format.
Yeah, I mean 2 shields, man. What can you say? No, I think
potentially 3.
I know,
dude.
I'm freaking out over here, dude. Hero got a personal shield from Villain Yellow. I love it. So I guess Luke's Training first, pretty good, right? I mean, spotting 2 blue characters is less likely, but if you're playing Luke, especially Luke 3, play a blue ability from your hand, decreasing by 1. That's good. I mean, I know there's some really good weapons out there, and I know Blue loves their weapons, but if you really want to go in on that Luke 3, who can move with his power action move abilities from character to character, who was spoiled earlier in this, that's really solid. Getting out abilities, and both these abilities would be options for cheap, and then rolling them in with that character, changing it to the character to your right, and then rolling it in with the second character as well. Getting multiple uses out of the die, that seems pretty legit. And this seems like kind of like a Reaping the Crystal, but for things that don't cost 3 or more, right? I mean, it could be for things that cost 3 or more, but it could be for anything. And it gives the added effect that it could be from the discard. So I think Luke's Training that's pretty real. That feels good.
Yeah. I mean, you could just picture like a Force Throw or Force Wave for 2.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you could play Reaping with them anyways, but like now you can also like, I mean, I've talked about it before. Like one of my favorite aspects of Sabine is, being able to discard my weapon so I can dig through my deck, and having Luke's Training in your deck kind of lets you do that.
Nice.
Like if I'm holding on to a Force Wave, I kind of want to play it, but I also need to make sure I get other cards. You could pitch it, and there's a chance you'll draw into Luke's Training or the card that you needed or anything like that. But it does seem slightly annoying if you could just keep playing Force Illusion.
Yeah, no, definitely. I also just want to say we made it 13 minutes and 50 seconds into this episode before Jack mentioned Sabine.
Dude, we're here. We're living the dream.
Yeah, no, looping Force Illusion would be annoying, but I mean, at that point, you're definitely milling yourself pretty hard, but definitely annoying. I think it just has some potential, like you said, with some of the bigger Force abilities. I guess Force Jump is interesting. The art's pretty hilarious.
It's
garbage. Yeah, I think it's great. I think he's just soaring, man. He believes he can fly. He's jumping. But yeah, it's an interesting take on soft removal. So it's continuously turning a die, and I think you mentioned this on discard to reroll, but about it being sort of a trap type card. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you're like yeah, obviously if you build a deck around this or you're really trying to go for the special, yes, 100%. I think this is a nice card for like a turn one. You play this kind of like a hunting rifle or a DH-17, and it eventually turns into something better. And obviously, it doesn't have the damage output of either of those, but turning dice to blanks is all right. I mean, if they're going to have to pitch to reroll again, you have another chance to mitigate. You have anything else, but this isn't something that you're going to want to like Yoda special chain into or anything like that. This is going to be just some kind of soft removal side. If it had a resource side, I'd like it a lot more. I really like one cost upgrades that have a resource side. I think they're underrated because they make their money back pretty quick, or they can, and they could do whatever effect they have. But I mean, not sure it's going to see a ton of play. But as far as
I think it's got a spot in like mill decks.
yeah, I mean it's recurring pseudo control, right? Pseudo removal because you're just re-rolling the die back into the pool instead. So you're getting 33% chance hitting it again. So it could be super annoying in a game where it consistently is getting that special. And it's cheap. You don't have to put much into it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's a one drop. It's not bad. And like you said, I don't know how much it'll see. Like if I'm playing like Yoda in a vehicles deck, like I don't even know if I want to include that. But Yoda, and like I said, in a mill deck where you could potentially force your opponent to reroll even more and burn some of the cards, it seems pretty good.
Yeah, agreed. There is no try is like the opposite of artwork. This artwork's great. Luke doing a one hand handstand with Yoda on his foot, super dope. And I think this card's interesting. The sides leave, I think, a little bit to be desired. Possibly 2 paid sides on a 2-drop is sort of annoying. But, a focus side, a 2 shield side, and a 2 damage side, all that's really good. I know it's 2 for 1 for both the damage and the shield, but those sides are solid. And then its action, my problem with it is just kind of like the RNG, so like the random number generator that this is going to just add into your game.
Yep.
So you're just re-rolling this die, and then you either have to remove it or you can resolve it, increasing its value by 1. But yeah, so like if you don't have the money, do you just take that action and then 33% chance you hit 1 damage, 1 focus, or 1 resource, and you up it by 1? It just seems. I mean, if you have the money, sure, re-roll it, and then taking 3 shields, that's amazing for $1, right? 3 shields for $1 is just about as good as it gets as far as shields come. 3 damage. But like again, it's just you just don't know what it's going to do for you. And I think there's so many at this point in the game. There's so many consistent 2-cost upgrades that this in a standard deck is just going to feel a little bit weird. And especially we're seeing some really good 2-cost upgrades coming up in these spoilers, and with like Luke's lightning rod, card number 69 from before. That's all. There's some really good cards in there. But as far as draft goes, I kind of like this in draft.
Yeah, it's not awful. I mean, it's a die that, just isn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, as far as some upgrades go, it's not. It's draft is all random. Like draft, just random things happen sometimes. So this just kind of adds to that chaos. But I mean, it could add to it and be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, those are all my complaints with it too. It's like it stinks. It's a 2-cost that has 2 pay sides on it. But also, if they weren't pay sides and you were able to reroll the die several times, getting 3 damage for free, that would be kind of annoying type thing. And I could see the potential of it, but it's just like I don't want to put this into my game. Like I don't want my turn to depend on this action, whether or not it goes well or not.
I do like the flavor, and I believe it was RebelSpy mentioned that, Mike the RebelSpy. The flavor of the card, do or do not, it's like reroll a die, and then you may resolve it, increasing its value by 1. And then this action,
it's literally that,
there is no try. This is the same action on the dice card. So that's interesting. It's cool.
And the quote on it is literally do or do not.
Yeah.
How do you feel about just all the stuff? Like we don't have to, too long on it, but how do you feel about all 3 of these cards in standard trilogies and draft? I know we mentioned there's no try in draft a little bit, but
yeah, so like Luke's training in draft is going to feel weird. You're probably not going to have 2 blue characters. You're probably not going to have Luke Skywalker, and you probably might not have that many blue abilities. So obviously that's great. But I feel like in a deck built around that, 100%. And I think in trilogies, I think this card's going to be nasty because I think you're going to have the 2 good Luke options in trilogies, right? I mean, Luke from the starter is not bad. And then Luke 3 looks like borderline insane, right? So I feel like Luke's training, 100%. I feel like Force Jump might find a place, but I think it's going to fall off after a bit in pretty much all formats. Again, draft, it's a die, but it's not really a die that adds a ton. You're going to take it if it's the only die that you have that you can take, but it's not going to be what you want.
Yeah.
And there is no try. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel weird about this card, but I could see it making its way into some random trilogies or standard decks just because that reroll. Like, if you do land what you want when you want it, 2 damage or 3 damage for $1 on a 2-cost upgrade every turn, that's pretty nasty. It's just,
Double
or
focus
even
into
2
more.
focus is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it could be really good. It's just, again, I feel like I'm playing Hearthstone with that, with how much like RNG is in it. You just don't know what you're getting. So
Yeah, I share the same thoughts on a lot of it. Like loose training, sure you lose like mind probe and force throw, but like you still force wave, and these two as well. Like even a Luke's training into there's
yeah.
no try. Yeah, there's 2 pay sides, but playing that for a 1 cost is pretty good.
Oh yeah, for one, it's nasty.
Yeah, and so I think that's got really good spot in trilogies as well. Same thing as you mentioned for draft. Like I really don't like. Maybe you take this if you happen to realize that you're running 2 blue characters or Luke, and you have blue abilities. But yeah, it seems very fringe. Force jump. I would take it if there wasn't like a better die or a color I wasn't running, simply to just have a die. And there's no try. Same thing. Like seems decent, but I'd probably take some other things over it. But overall, I really like that. These 3 cards. I really,
There's no try is not blue character only either, so that does increase its value for decks and for draft and all. So
yes,
it is a blue ability, it's just not blue character only. So that's pretty important, especially in draft. If your blue character is like Anakin, he's your hard hitter or whatever, they're going to target him first. Then this can just go on your side character and do work from there. So
yep,
I think that's kind of important.
Cool. All right, so that's that for RebelGrey's spoilers. Now we got the Hyperloops. Moving on to them. They spoiled 2 cards, both villains. The first one is Fifth Brother. He's intimidating enforcer. He is 13-16 for elite. He has 12 health. His damage sides are 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 discard, 1 resource, special, blank. He's a character and an inquisitor. His special says, resolve one of your non-ability blue upgrade dice without removing it from your pool. And he is a rare and a villain. And the other card, just so we could say what it is, because these two just very go into each other. It is a 3-cost blue villain upgrade that is a legendary. It is Fifth Brother's lightsaber. It's an upgrade and a weapon. Its sides are +1 melee, +2 melee, +3 melee, a shield, a +1 resource, a blank. And it says, while this upgrade is on Fifth Brother, you can resolve this die showing a modifier as if it were not a modifier. And it also says, after you resolve this die, you may deal 1 damage to a character. Yeah, Fifth Brother seems all right. His lightsaber seems even better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird card, right? Like, the lightsaber is really... Like, I don't want to play this on anyone else. I really don't. Like, like Maul's lightsaber, do you really care if you play it on Maul? No, right? But, like, this is, like... The modified sides on this, yeah, they're not that hard to pair up in general, right? Like, we know that a lot of decks can bring a ton of different melee sides and a ton of different options melee-wise, but I don't know, man. I really like it on Fifth Brother, and I like it a lot less on other characters. And as far as Fifth Brother goes, I'm not a huge fan of him. I know people were kind of on like about him, and I don't love him a ton. And I think one of the reasons is the special I actually don't like until late game. So it's resolve one of your non-ability blue upgrade dice without removing it from your pool. And sure, so if you're starting with Seventh Sister in him, right? Because that's going to be a pretty obvious pairing. 14 points, 16 points. You get 5 dice. You even get a non-ability blue upgrade dice in your pool to begin with, right? With the Secret Droid from Seventh Sister. So then, yeah, you instantly can resolve this special. But like, if say your first action or first turn, of the game, you get this Fifth Brother's lightsaber out, and then you roll out Fifth Brother, you get a special, you get a 2 or 3 on the lightsaber. If you just remove the lightsaber, then that special essentially has to just be re-rolled until you can get actual damage out of it. So then it's almost like he's showing 2 blanks at the beginning if you can control the upgrade dice. And that's my only problem with him. I mean, that just feels weird.
I mean, I guess the nice part, though, is that if you do run it with Seventh Sister, the Secret Droid, I assume that you roll in would count as a blue upgrade die.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, so
that's not...
You have something to resolve.
Yeah, there's something, and that's not great. Like, that's obviously... I'd maybe only do it with a focus, so then I could, like, double focus. Do the special, and then as my opponent takes an action, when it comes back to me, I actually use the focus. But yeah, I'm not super sold on him. I don't think he's crazy good. I think I disagreed with both you and Tommy. You thought Maul was still better than Fifth Brother at that 16-point slot. I think Fifth Brother might be
I
a little
love
bit
Maul.
better with his lightsaber, especially. But as for his lightsaber, I don't know. I think you can just play that anywhere because its sides are really just +2, +3, +4 shield damage, resource damage.
And then you get the extra damage from it resolving. I just think I like heirloom better still at this point on a different character. Like, yeah, you get that extra damage. I mean, you lose redeploy for that extra damage, and it's just you don't have to worry about the modifiers with an heirloom. But like, I see what you're saying. Like, this is, I think, a little bit more aggressive than heirloom, and we'll probably see plenty of play.
And if you're running it with Seven Sister, I mean, that's 5 dice you're starting, just from character and the Secret Droid dice that you'd be able to potentially link up. Like, I think it'll be like if we're able to link Mauls up as much as we are, and resolve that as much as we can, I think we should have an all right time doing Fifth Brothers.
Yeah,
saber. Like, I definitely think it's worse than Maul's like pre-nerf, but I'd say it's on par with Maul's after Maul's got hit with that a little bit of an errata.
Yeah, the power action change to paying $1. I agree. I just like if you're running this, right? Are you running this and Maul's, and then you're putting both out, and then
all the modified sides in the world?
Yeah, it's just like that's fine, right? But then all that damage is going to one target, and sometimes that's not what you want, and it can just get screwy middle turns. If someone's got 3 health left, and you have this showing +3, and you have a Secret Droid showing 2 or whatever, it just feels weird. And then I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. I think Fifth Brother's solid at 12 points, 12 hit points. That's a ton. The only reason I like Maul, I just think I've been playing Maul Ketsu for a while, and I actually love Maul Ketsu a ton, but I think Maul's ability is just underrated, and I think his ability stacked up. This special is pretty nasty, especially with Secret Droids. When you have 2 or 3 of them in your pool, if you're actually going to run Secret Droids, that's disgusting. Because you're resolving a 2 or 3 focus, not removing it from the pool. You can focus itself, right? So there's that ruling. When you focus, you can turn its own die, but if you don't remove from the pool, it stays there, kind of like in My Ally the Force. That's nasty, but I don't know. I love me some Darth Maul, but I do see some potential. I like that he's only a rare because that's a pretty powerful character to give players that aren't buying full play sets. If you pull Fifth Brother, especially in draft, him in draft seems pretty solid. 13 points for 12 health.
Yeah, I mean, you could already run him, a Jawa, and like Ketsu.
Yeah,
and like that's
away.
A pretty solid list. Already.
It's gonna be interesting when Seven Sister rotates out and Darkside's got to find some other 14-point characters. You
probably just run a Price. We'll get to her in a bit, but she's really solid.
I mean, you probably run Price. It's just like everyone right now is Seven Sisters, such a clear option for 3 starting dice.
Yeah, I mean, 14 points for 3 dice is just such a solid deal. Oh, one other thing on the lightsaber, the fact that it's not blue character only, I think makes it super flexible.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Now, of course, if you're running him with Seven Sister, that doesn't matter as much, but like Fifth Brothers could find a place in, I mean, it probably has a place in Seven Sister Boba, maybe.
Yeah, I could see it.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just think it has that option, and I don't know. I really like it. I think it's good, but like you said, Fifth Brother seems kind of just okay. But once you get his lightsaber on him, I think he just goes up a lot more. And if you're playing against 7th, 5th, who do you go for first? Like 5th, if he gets his lightsaber on him, that hurts. But like 7th Sister's adding 3 dice.
Yeah, I mean, his special is also nasty when you resolve the Fifth Brother's die, but then you get to deal the extra damage twice from its ability.
Yeah, so you're really doing like 8 damage from that die?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so dirty.
Yeah.
That seems
cool. So I mean, if this pops down turn 1, I feel like he's got to die.
Yeah, all that extra damage just seems really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's powerful. I just, I as soon as it came out, everyone was hating on Maul, and that just hurts me on the inside. So I had to back my boy up a little bit.
I mean, yeah, it's just tough. I mean, you look at 16 points, and it's like, all right, Maul, Boba. Mm-hmm. I don't know who else is 16, but
I just hate this 1 damage side on him, to be honest.
Man. Yeah, 16 points for 1 melee just feels bad.
I know, it's just like, but you can't re-roll that, right? Like you roll that 1 melee. Unless you have like a really good weapon out there or something, you can play with the special or the 2. Like you can't reroll that 1 damage. So then you're going to be resolving Seven Sisters 1 damage and his 1 damage, and you're like, wow, I'm hitting like a limp noodle and I'm running like 2 balling characters. It just bothers me, man.
Yeah, I feel like even at like a 2 melee for 16, that wouldn't be like excessively broken or anything. I don't know, but I'm also not a game designer, so there's There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be walking the fence, I think.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so that covers it for the Hyperloop spoilers. Any last thoughts on them before we head over to dude, you have it marked as Jedi Trials. It actually wasn't the Jedi Trials.
Dude, I don't even know who people are. Who was it? Who was it?
You don't even play this game.
What
It
is-
was oh gosh, I messed up the document. So
Oh, the whole document.
it was
over.
actually just Rebel Spy. So Rebel Spy is on the Jedi Trials, but he also has his own like YouTube content creation, and he also has swdestiny.com, which is not the database, it's a separate site. But he has that as well, which I don't think he really uses
I
anymore.
can't keep up with all the drama, man. I just okay, like jeez, there's too much, guys. Like the Hyperloops, and then RebelGrey. Like RebelGrey gets all blue cards. His name's Gray. Like, come on,
Give him Gray.
this is crazy. This is insane.
Uh,
I do like how the Hyperloops are the the villains, as Chip would call them and other people would call them, and they got like Fifth Brother, and he's just like super menacing and dope looking. I love it.
yeah,
It's
funny because a question came up. I think iRebel posed it first, and she like asked if the Hyperloops were ruining the game. I think this is just FFG's confirmation that yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Confirmed.
gosh.
Mike's listening to this right now. Joe and Nick will probably never listen to this.
That's probably a good call, Joe and Nick.
All right, we'll move on to Rebel Spies. Not RebelGrey, Rebel Spies. Spoilers. All these
RebelGrey,
Rebels, man.
Mike's Spies, Jedi Council Trials.
Wait,
Jedis.
while we're on this name topic, real quick, it's actually all right. It's not funny, like it stinks, but we almost went with the Pure Sabak name, and I talked about this before. I think I mentioned on the show before, but like as we were about to come out, the other content creators, Pure Sabak, came out, so I was like, oh, we got to pick another name. Now I love Golden Dice, I'm really happy with it, but it just stunk in that moment. We had to change. And then I see like a few weeks later, the Pure Sabak guys had to step back, so they're not doing it anymore. I'm like, man, you took my name. And 3 months, 4 months later, you're stepping down. No, they were really nice guys. And it's a shame because they were doing really good content. Like they were like solely focused on draft. So it does stink that we're losing that because that's not covered as well. I mean, we're standard, talkers here. We're trying to include a little bit of draft talk.
Yeah, and then just troll you guys as we go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. That's what you get for taking my name. I'm just kidding, of course. All right, on to the yellow spoilers from Rebel Spy. So the first one isn't as crazy. It is just Cassian, and it's just a full reveal.
Just Cassian.
Yeah. I mean, really, the only thing it's revealing is his rarity
status.
Yes,
right?
he's a legendary. People have talked about him a lot, but if you haven't heard, it's Cassian Andor. He's a rebellion operative. He has 10 health, and he is 10 for 14. And he has a 1 range, 2 range, a 1 discard, 1 discard, 1 resource, a blank. He's a character leader. And it says after you resolve this die, you may deal 1 indirect to an opponent or discard the top card of a deck. And he is a hero, of course. And he seems really good. I think he's going to be played a lot, especially at that lower point cost, along with a really good ability. I'm looking forward to testing him out, of course. I was kind of hoping he was going to be a rare just so I could get him more easily, but he might be one of... I generally don't buy singles. I usually just buy a bunch of boxes and kind of trade my way. But if I don't get him soon, just for store champs, I might buy him because I think I want to take him to one of them.
Yeah, no, I want to spread him like the plague throughout all of my decks.
That's exactly. He just seems so just so good.
Yeah, in every sense.
Yeah,
I love that card, and I think it's funny that Joey, our friend that we always mention on here, he literally bought like 9 or 10 like Seven Sisters, so he didn't have to re-sleeve it into all of his different decks. Like I could totally see him doing this with Cassian.
Yeah.
He's got 8 different Cassian decks.
Dude, I've
sleeved
like
up.
so because blue is like literally everything right now. I've been so tempted to just shell out and buy like 2 more ancients and like a few core solutions. No, I haven't, and I won't because it's expensive.
Okay, good.
But it's like every temptation. It's like when I'm switching decks for like the 10th time. Like,
I know. So that's why you just don't play blue, and then you don't have that problem.
No, I can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Blues in my blood, dude. Blue yellow hero, dude. It's been my life.
I know.
More so yellow hero lately, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about those colors. I'm about that. So,
but yeah, Cassian just seems super good in every sense. You could play him in a mill deck. You could play him in a damage dealing deck, and everything just goes together.
I agree.
And all right, so the next card. So RebelSpy actually got 2 legendaries, which is pretty cool.
Dang,
The
girl.
next one is a 2-cost upgrade ability. It is called Stealthy, and its sides are 2 indirect, 2 shields. There you go. A resource, a
Yes. Oh
special,
my
and a blank.
gosh.
Uh,
I can't even handle this.
all,
This episode's
all
too
these
good.
shield sides, dude.
Oh my gosh, I'm sweating.
It's a hero legendary. It says attached character has a trooper subtype, and the special is discard cards from the top of a deck equal to the value showing on one of your character dice.
My God.
This seems so good in every sense, and only to get better with the trooper subtype
I
expanded
know. Like
upon.
the best part about it is that we don't even know what that adds. Like that obviously adds something, right? So
Yeah,
giving the keyword trooper. There's going to be some cards, and it's highly likely that it's a lot of the commons and uncommons that we haven't seen.
yeah,
You know, spot a trooper, do this. Give a trooper 1 shield. Give a trooper 2 shield. Whatever it is. But like so many things like that are probably coming. And I don't know about so many, but I would guess 3 or 4 cards referencing trooper are coming. And this already seems pretty legit, and we have no idea what the first part of its ability even does.
yeah, yeah. And even if it does nothing, even if all the trooper cards are bad, like this is still a good
Yes,
card.
it's still legit.
Think about it. Um,
It's got a
Yeah.
2 shield side. Oh my God.
Yeah, it seems so good, and in every sense, like even the mill decks of like the one popping up more recently, Yoda Lando. It's like, all right, discard 3. Lando's 3 resource side. If you're playing this with the partisans, I think it actually works best in the Yoda partisan deck. So I actually think this is probably best in trilogies right now because I think that deck is powerful already, and this just is another 2 cost that it seems super good on. That you can special chain with Yoda. Now your max side with the special is 2, but it's also giving you that 2 indirect that you can also trigger with the partisans.
Yeah.
And 2 shields.
I mean,
you need to live in mill. Like this just seems
but
to me
this
as soon
with
as I
force
saw it, I was
meditation
like,
as well.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you have force meditation and stealthy. Now you have 4 upgrades that are giving you a 2 mil side. Like that's disgusting.
Yeah, you could if you resolve stealthy for the special, discard 2, do 2 indirect with the partisan, and do a force meditation. That's 6 cards right there. That's a whole turn gone. And then if you mill with Yoda, I mean, you don't even have to mill with Yoda at that point to have a good turn. You could even just take shields and resources because you already milled 6 with everything else. And if you get a discard on the other partisan, boom, there you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think mill and trilogies is already nasty. So like I think that's what I would play if I was doing like a competitive trilogies event right now. Like tomorrow, I would play Yoda, partisan, Jar Jar, because I feel like the double partisan mills a lot quicker, and it probably loses against. I probably lose against double partisan, but I like the Jar Jar edition with Vandalize for other decks. But man, stealthy fits right in that deck. You're right in that trilogy's mill, and I it's going to fit in standard stuff too.
It's so weird. Like, so this next thought. I'll move on to the next card and kind of say it after I read the card. Because this whole conversation of mill plays into this next card as well. It's a 1 cost. It is a hero uncommon. It's called Clandestine Operation. It's an event. I'm pretty sure I said Clandestine, right? I have no idea.
Clandestine, I think. Clandestine.
Is that a D? I can't really see.
Yeah, it's a D.
Cool. All right, so spot 2 yellow character. Spot 2 yellow characters or Cassian and or to resolve any number of your dice showing the same symbol. Then discard cards from the top of a deck equal to the number of dice you just resolved.
Oh my God.
Dude, this is so good. And it works with special chaining. That's been a question that's been floating around. But, on Artificery, he goes by the Gandork. But he was also the head judge at Worlds. So, he's been working and talking with Germany about a lot of stuff. And he said that, yes, special chaining. Basically, if you pay 1, your action would be to resolve specials type thing. That's what you're declaring. You're going to resolve, and you just special chain with Yoda. So even if you just special chain Yoda's dice, you're discarding 2, and that still seems a good deal. Now imagine if you have stealthy or force meditation on, and you resolve 3 specials on top of the force meditation. That's 5 right there. Like this is so good. If you're running like a Yoda Cassian mill deck,
and Yoda's dice could mill as well. So
exactly. On top of that, yep. It just seems so good. I am happy it's very restrictive with that spot because I was even I was on Discard to reroll, and Shane mentioned it. I was just on the. It actually, did it come out today? Did I record? Yeah, I recorded with him last night.
Yeah.
It's Thursday right now. I recorded with him last night, and he had it out pretty quick. But I was like thinking, I've been running Yoda Padme a bit, and it's like if I could do that in that deck, that'd be so dirty. Like I'm running in that like a 4-speed Yoda's dice, Padme's dice, like all of those have specials. Like I could easily, I mean maybe not easily, but within reason, resolve like 6 dice of the same side, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely scary.
And yeah, I even think if you just get 2 cards, you're still getting a decent value. But ideally, you want to push that 3 or 4 discard.
Yeah, for 1, 3 or 4 discard for 1 is insane.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another uncommon.
So I really like all these spoilers. Oh, and the thought that I had that I want to say was I find it weird because I know that Jeremy doesn't like Mill, but like I don't know, Mills just seems to be getting better almost, especially Hero Mill.
Seems like some good options. Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
And honestly, Hero Mill's less oppressive, so I don't mind. Like, kill me now when Jabba rolls out fast hands, re-rolls 2 discard. It's like, all right, I'll go kill myself.
Yeah,
just don't enjoy that. Or Thrawn Unkar. Thank God that didn't become a thing.
Dude, save Unkar.
But it'll be interesting to see how Mill plays out, and if there's any, like, I don't know, changes to the way. So I have no idea what they'd even change. I don't like just saying to go to jump and ban cards or whatever. Like I don't even know what would be the broken card in any situation.
Ban Yoda.
It's just interesting to me that don't you dare put those demons on us, Ricky Bobby.
No, I mean if this is a small fraction of the set, right? These cards do help Mill in a way that seems extremely substantial, but we got a lot to see. So
yeah. It's only I mean, we've like have 40 cards spoiled, maybe
about that.
Like I think it's 42. I think is the number. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but somewhere around there. So we're way out. But do you have any other thoughts on these 3 spoilers right here? Do we want to move on to the FFG article?
Yeah, I mean I'm cool with moving on. I'm excited to see what the Trooper subtitle actually does, or subtype, I guess is the right word. And I'm excited to see. I mean, I wrote an article a while back about like mid-level type decks, mid-character type decks. So like the elite for 12 or 11 of ranging up to 17 or 16. And like, this is awesome. I mean, we're seeing Fifth Brothers, sweet, Cassian, sweet. Moving on, we're going to see Ezra and Price as we dig into these. And I'm just loving all these options that everyone's getting. So I'm hyped about it. But I feel like for these, we probably go 2 at a time just so we don't overwhelm anyone because they put out 8 cards.
Yeah. Actually, standard trilogies draft, I think both Cassian and Stealthy are good in every format, and Clandestine is probably not as good in draft, but good in standard and trilogies.
Cassian's like insane in draft. Cassian's just really good in everything, but
10 points? Oh my gosh, dude! If you draft Cassian, you're already running mono. You drop Ketsu, run Lobot, and
Anakin.
You
got him for 10. You got I mean he's
10.
He's so good for draft. Yeah.
So good. Yeah. Cool. So we'll move on to, so FFG put a article out not too long ago, The Way of the Rebel, and more Rebel stuff, dude. I'm loving this. And we even had a podcast a little while ago about what we want to see, and these first 2 things are what I said, and I'm so happy. I don't know if you remember that. I'm pretty sure the episode was with you, and I said I wanted I remember I was there. I wanted a Jedi Ezra and his lightsaber. Yeah. And that's what we got.
I mean, we're not sure that's Ezra in his lightsaber picture. That could be anyone. That art's...
yeah, really. It's like, dude, all the art seriously has been so good, except for Ezra's lightsaber and forced jump. Like, those have just been like...
I'm not lying. I actually like forced jumps. It's so funny.
Somebody on Discord took like that picture and put like a Superman cape on it. And like the Superman S on his Obi-Wan's chest.
It's such a good leap. Oh my gosh. All right, continuing.
All right, so Ezra is aspiring Jedi. He's 8'11", 11 for elite. He has 8 health. His sides are 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 resource blank. He's a character and a Spectre. Spectre is just their like almost call sign in their squad from Rebels, in case anybody was wondering what exactly that might be. And then his power action, if this character has 1 or more upgrades, draw a card, or 2 cards instead if he has 3 or more upgrades. And he is a hero rare. Dude, I love
Yeah.
this. Like he's not game changing, but for like 11
So good.
points, I think that's pretty solid. Like we talk like all the time we run like for 10 points, we'll run like a 10 health character.
Yep.
Or not 10 health character. For 10 points, we run a
Yeah.
7 health character who maybe doesn't even have the best sides. Like other, Yellow Ezra is really good, of course. But like for 11 points, like I just feel like he's super good if you remember his power action, which I played a game with him and forgot every single round. And then he died.
Yeah, man, the draw is nice. That's some good stuff. Drawing, I mean, one card a turn, sure, it slows you down, but it's an extra reroll, it's an extra removal, whatever you need. But if he gets 3 on it, which isn't gonna, it's gonna be kind of a long shot at times. He might not always have 3, but if he does, 2 cards is insane. His dice sides are fine.
He's got the same damage
There's nothing
size,
wrong with him.
a base damage size as the fifth brother, despite being 5 points cheaper. Now, of course, the fifth brother has a really good special, but
trash, dude. No, he sucks. Yeah, I mean he's awesome. I love the 11-point slot. It opens up the 19-point elite slot a little bit, right? That's a huge problem that this game has. I feel like. I mean, you go back and look at the 19-point characters that have come out and how little play they've actually seen, right? I mean, you go back, you see Inquisitor, like the Grand Inquisitor. Like who is that? You see Krennic. He came out with Bala for like 2 minutes and then fell away. Like you see all these people and they see like no play. So I really like this 11-point slot because it's so unexplored. You only have you have Sienna as a good option on villain and Bala as a good option on villain, but that's like it.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first
I like
damage dealer for heroes. I mean, 11 points. You have Maz.
Yeah.
And she now everybody knows how good she is, of course. But she's not like a damage dealer. She can close a game, of course, if she has like a DL44 or an heirloom or something on her like that. But from the get-go, she's not doing that. Whereas Ezra can kind of do that, which excites me.
He just seems cool, and I'm glad he's a rare. Like I'm glad a lot of people can get their hands on this card because he can fit in so many decks.
Yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am to play him. And it's like weird because like it's probably, I don't know, everybody else is probably looking at like Cassian and Rex and Luke, and all the other like, big names or prices we'll get to. But like Ezra's been one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. So to see him in like his Jedi form, I'm just like, I have to try him. I actually played the game that I played was with one of our patrons, Mended. So shout out to him for playing and spanking me, as all my games on TTS have seemed to gone. I was just like, dude, the past like 3 videos I posted is just like me embarrassing myself. I'm like, why do people listen to me when I say things? But then like at locals, I went 4-0. I'm like, what is going on? Like, why can't I win when I put it on the internet? Anyways, I played Ezra and Luke 3 with Built to Last. Nice. And it was cool. I really didn't take advantage of it. I was kind of like messing around, just looking at the cards on TTS. And then he messaged me and said, hey, you want to play games? So I was like, all right. And I just threw together a deck real quick. Going back, because I had Built to Last, I probably would have made room for Rey's staff. And I would have made room for Luke's lightsaber just to see how it goes. With them all getting redeployed from Built to Last. But he ran Obi Maz. He ran Obi Ezra. And it was pretty good. And we both said at the end of the game, we're like, wow, there's a lot of stuff we want to change, after playing this game. But, him with Obi seemed pretty solid. Like, I know they both have 2 damage sides, which isn't ideal, but you might have to pitch the reroll a little bit more than you'd like. But with that power action, you can always do that. So I am a big fan of it, that pairing. And I think that would work pretty well in trilogies too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree about the trilogies point. I mean, yeah, I don't. So you said you tried Obi Ezra?
No, Mended did.
You were Luke Built to Last, right?
Yeah, I was, and it was fine. I was probably like an idiot at time. I was behind, so I was like, oh, all I want to do is kill Ezra, so I'll just pitch a reroll. Like I knew I started playing poorly. So once I got behind, I was like, this deck is just kind of all wonky. Yes, I'm making excuses, but yeah. So
yeah, the first thing I'm thinking is Obi-Wan, just because it's that 19-point slot I was talking about. But I like the Luke 3 and Built to Last because I do want to see Built to Last, that 4-point plot, see some play. But yeah, it is. I don't know if he's going to override Maz in that sense, that support role that she brings in like an Obi-Wan deck. But I do like. He does add way more damage, right? He comes.
I want to see him in like a 5-die deck too.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the first things I was thinking too. Is like, I don't know what other cheap melee options you have. Like, you have Ayla and then you have what, 7 points left.
Yeah, because she's 12. So
you throw a Gungan and Espionage in there, and you just go to town, dude.
Yeah, really.
Like, I don't hate that, right? Him and Ayla that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, because she turned hers is blue and red, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, and he has. I mean, the Gungan has a 1 melee side,
yeah,
2 blanks, but it's like I don't know
yeah. We might see
for
another
6
option
points.
too. I mean,
What's
you could even
worth?
just do
Yeah, if there was like
7-point
a
mannequin for resource generation too, like from the pod racing era.
yeah, and that brings yellow into it, and they might go for him first, letting you build up Ezra and
Yeah,
Ayla, just so they turn off their spot
yeah,
yellow in resource generation. Yeah, dude, I could dig it. I'm excited. I'm so excited for him.
yeah. He seems cool, and so does his lightsaber.
Yes, his lightsaber. Ezra Bridger's lightsaber. It's an upgrade. It's a weapon. It's a 2 cost. Its sides are 1 ranged, 2 melee, 1 resource, 1 shield, a special, blank, and it has redeploy. And its special reads deal 2 damage to an opponent's character. If this upgrade is on Ezra Bridger, force that opponent to lose a resource. And it is a hero legendary. Dude, I think this is so
I think
good.
this is
2 cost,
crazy
redeploy,
good. Yeah.
a 1/2/2. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think this is. I know it's mixed damage. So I know you have a gun, melee, and a special, but having a 1/2/2, like you said, on a 2 cost, let alone none of that's paid sides, right? So if you look at like the Verpine Sniper from the draft kit, that's got a 1, a 2 for $1, and then the special for just 2 unblockable. But it has a paid side, so this is no paid side, mixed damage. But then you add redeploy on it, even without the Ezra ability, right? Even without the forcing them to lose a resource, this thing's nasty.
Yeah, you could play this in the Ray Ayla, the stairs deck right now to be good.
Yeah.
And it's like the mixed damage side kind of stinks, but in Blue Hero, it's like force misdirection. Like it's not the worst thing in the world. It kind of gives more options for
I totally
that.
agree.
I think this is so good. Like I was so hype on Luke's lightning rod, and I think I said this on Discord reroll as well. Like I wonder how much I'm repeating myself and how much people listen to both. But like the Luke's lightning rod, everybody loved it. It was 1/2/2 for melee for a 2-drop. But the issue was that it wasn't a weapon, so you couldn't lightsaber pull it. It was an equipment, and that also means it didn't work with Shoto, where also didn't have redeploy. Where Ezra's lightsaber changes all that.
Yep.
It has redeploy. It is a weapon, and you can pull it.
Doesn't work with
lightsaber pull. Works with Shoto
either. So to
the
sides.
Luke's
The Luke's
lightning rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still really good. Like I still think that's a fantastic card that you would still just
I
put
agree,
in
and
a
it's
Luke
got
deck.
it can it's got the versatility of having shield sides. So technically, that has two shield sides. Oh my god, card is broken.
Are you only ever going to
just
play
lightning
Luke and
rod
just
all
take
day.
shields?
Just take shields.
There you go.
Yeah, no, this.
Yeah, I think
they're
this
both
is
good, man.
Very
they're
good.
both really good 2-drop. Like when you make a deck now, like you really need to sit down and look at all of the 2-cost upgrades. I mean, just look at blue. You got the lightning rod, you have There Is No Try, and you have Ezra's lightsaber, all from this upcoming set. And
The set.
that's the reason I think There Is No Try is not shining too much, just because of the other two, and they're all blue hero. But like, man, those are some really good ones. So now you got to chop. Like, what's on the chopping block, right? You have like, do you not like Shotos anymore? Do you not like Vibro Knife? Do you not like Ancient Lightsaber? Like some of these things, you can't run all these upgrades. So there's so many options for 2 costs.
Yeah,
and I love that because it's really going to change deck to deck with the decisions everyone makes. It's going to make everything matter that much more.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where people go with that. Yeah, it really, like you said, it depends on your deck. Like if you're doing build to last, you might not run Ancients or Shotos. You might be just going full unique. Like Ezra's, I mean, you might still include one of them or something like that.
Ezra's,
but
whatever it is, that could be nasty.
Yeah, I think this and the Fifth Brother's lightsaber might be the most sought after the legendary so far. Like I think Cassian and Rex will be really high early, but I think Ezra's lightsaber, I think that might be the most expensive one we will see so far, in terms of price wise on eBay and all that good stuff.
It's so versatile. Redeploy is crazy on a 2-cost like that.
Yeah.
Just comparing it to like a holdout blaster that has redeploy for 2, right? It's like the damage sides are just so much better. Yeah,
you lose ambush, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah. No, you don't have to pay for damage. There's no modified damage.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Not running Sabine.
Then again, we haven't even mentioned that if it's on Ezra, you can also still force resource loss.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it is like that's good, but if that never happens, it's still really good. Like it's it's like an added bonus. Totally, it's a cherry on top if you get it.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else on Ezra and his lightsaber?
I think I'm good there.
Cool.
I mean, I hate the color blue, so I will say that this is all making me very sad. But
good.
Oh, let's go to the next 2 blue cards.
Yeah, next 2 blue cards. I'll read both of them. We can talk about both. since character and upgrade dice have a little bit more in depth, so I wanted to do them 1-on-1. But yeah, so first one is a 0 cost support. It is honed skills. It is a blue neutral common, and it says each of your characters can have 1 additional upgrade. And the other card is a 1 cost event, and it is hero blue. It's also a common, and it's called Loth Wolf Bond. It says give up to 2 of your blue characters 1 shield each. You may activate those characters in the order of your choice. How do you feel about these?
Doom. I like the Loth Wolf Bond. It's cool. I mean, I feel like honed skills might be a slightly win more type scenario. Like, do you really need 4 upgrades on, or God forbid 5 upgrades, or God forbid
No, I need
Grievous
5
and then 6 upgrades? Like,
yeah, Grievous is 6.
do you need that? I don't know. I don't know. I like Luke's protection. I think I like a little bit more. That's the right. Luke's protection is the, or no, I'm thinking of the wrong one. What's the one that everyone can get 1 extra?
Defensive
shield?
teaching.
Defensive teaching, yeah. The other blue support, that's garbage. Now that I feel like that's slightly more usable because 4 shields can happen a lot easier than 4 upgrades. But if you're saying it's going to be in like a built to last cheap unique upgrade deck, I mean, right? You got Maz's goggles, you got Ezra's lightsaber, you got lightning rod. You have all these unique upgrades that you could just spam out, and having 4 on a character might actually matter. So I don't think it's going to see a ton of play, but I mean, if there's a deck out there that is going to do it, I feel like that would be the deck. And then Loth Wolf Bond seems fine. I don't really see a huge purpose for it. So sure, 1 shield on 2 different blue characters for 1 resource is fine in itself, and then activating those characters so you can kind of speed up. I feel like the only way that's good though, like beneficial, is if you can action sheet something with it. So if you force speed, but that means you have a 3rd character, right? So you have to have 4 speed out there, resolve 4 speed for 2 actions. This is your first action, roll in, resolve. That's good, right? Hide in your damage, but that means there's a 3rd character. So the only other way I can think of is like, I don't even know. Like, what else can you do that would make this
Swiftness, baby.
Yeah, swiftness. Like I was thinking infamous, but that's a yellow card. So yeah, you could swiftness it, or you could, I guess, running interference. Can't play cards from hand, so you can activate both your guys. But like all that just seems like too much for this card. Like it alone, I don't know. The card seems okay. Sure, it speeds you up. Maybe that middle round where like you have first action and they have a character left that only has 2-3 health. You need to get out there. You're playing blue hero. There is no tactical mastery. There's nothing like that. You just lone wolf bond and hope for the best with 4 or 5 dice per character. Maybe. I don't think it's like meta changing, but I think it's I could see it seeing a little bit of play at some point.
I have to say, Mended played this in his Obi Ezra deck, and it was pretty dirty in that instance. Like activating your characters and getting 3 shields.
Obi getting a shield as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. Because when you activate Obi-Wan, you could put a shield on one of your characters. So it was like you'd roll out, he'd get a shield on both, and then whoever I was targeting, he put the shield from Obi-Wan's ability on. It was, there's just a lot of shields to chew through. And for Blue Hero, I think they just kind of need to sometimes get into the pool a little bit quicker, both their characters. So I see the usefulness in that. But yeah, it's not anything crazy.
Right?
It's a good card.
It's 1 shield and activate, and do you want to spend $1 for that? Probably not, right? Like, you could just activate because you're spending 1 for you're using a card, using a resource for 1 shield and to activate. When you could just activate, keep the card, keep the $1, and lose the shield. But for 2, I see it.
Well, yeah, I'd only ever do it like with 2 characters. Like I don't know if I'd do it with 1 character.
As soon as that character dies, then you're down. Like if Ezra dies in that opening matchup, then this card's pretty much not going to see play unless you really need a shield.
Yeah. There's no way it'd be running like a single blue character deck.
I just mean even if like one of them dies.
But yeah, I think it
has a 2 blue character deck. Like as soon as one dies, this card just kind of becomes just like why do I need this?
Yeah. And I'm on the same page as Honed Skills. I don't know. Maybe like a one of, because even like having like I think it was Rebel Spy that mentioned it when I was on Discard to Reroll. That kind of made me open up to it a little bit more. Was like sometimes, when you have to redeploy, but then you have to discard like a weapon. So, sometimes. So like that situation seems like it would be good where both weapons redeploy.
And that's, built to last gives all your uniques redeploy, right? That plot. So that's what I was like, that type of deck, I could see that coming. If it's going to see play, I think he's right. I think that's where you're going to see it in that built to last deck.
Yeah. Yeah, and blue does have some pretty cheap stuff. Like it has 4 speed for 0. It's got force illusion for 1. So even if you have those two and then play this and get 2 weapons, even a 2 and a 3 cost, like that's
I agree.
not
Yeah,
unfeasible. Or at a spectrum. So it's like those are options there. But yeah, generally I don't know. I think it'll fall into the defensive teachings category where it's like sure it's fine, but it rarely happens enough to warrant a spot in your 30 card deck.
it's the problem, man. There's going to be the fifth set, right? So I mean, 5
Yeah.
full sets, 30 cards is not much. So
No. Cool.
and again, both of these in draft or any like in draft, I don't they're going to get passed. You don't really need these in draft.
Yeah, unless you like draft Ezra early and you're like, all right, I'm gonna run Ezra and Anakin. But even then, like it's a one of like, what are the chances you see it before one of them dies?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you meant just for Lothwolf Bond. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, for for Lothwolf.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Ezra
hone
or
skills.
lightsaber,
think
great
ever.
in draft though, for sure.
Ezra's, that's
Yeah.
super good.
Or
Yeah, definitely take that.
Ezra in general, 8 points. Then you can run Ketsu and Lobot or whatever you want to run. So both those top 2 cards great. The next two, like you said, yeah, unless you get an early draft of a cheap 8, a cheap
Yeah,
blue character, then possibly. But other than that,
agreed.
that's it.
Cool.
This next
All right,
chick,
dude, we're done with blue. You
hyped
happy?
about, dude? I am very
All right.
happy.
Dude, these are yours to read through. You
Oh
get
my
the red.
God,
Take it
I'm
away,
so
dude.
freaking excited. All right, so we got Arinda Price, unscrupulous governor. That's way too big of a word. Never mind, I hate this card. She's got a 2 melee, a 1 discard, a 1 resource, 2 specials, and a blank. She has 10 health. She is 10-13 for elite character leader special. Turn another one of your dice to any side. If you control the battlefield, you may resolve that die, increasing its value by 1. And she is a rare villain. I think I just want to talk about her before we even move on to the next one.
Oh my gosh, dude, there's so much to unpack
There's
here.
a ton. Like I don't even. So
She's
the
so good.
first
She's
thing I think
so
of
good.
is amazing. I think the first thing that stands out is special chaining on villain is here. I feel like that's what everyone's kind of thinking. So now you can
Everybody bust out your commando
Oh my
shuttles or
God.
whatever it's called. Get those promos out. I know you got them
Yes.
somewhere in your
the
binder.
command. Oh, dude, 3-cost blue. Every 3-cost blue support is gold in this game. But yes,
Dude, it's got a 2 shield side.
actually,
Yeah, in case anybody's wondering, it's from Spirit Rebellion. It's a blue villain support, and its special is use a special ability on one of your characters.
it came out.
So
with
it's like
Anakin,
people ran
yeah,
it.
Like Darth
Yeah,
Vader.
people tried it with the second Vader, but yeah, it's got a 2
I
range,
didn't
2
really
shield,
say
a
two
resource,
shield.
2
My God,
special.
I have to like the card.
But why are we?
Yeah,
all right, let's get back to price. Let's stop talking about.
Yeah, but 10-13 is amazing. My favorite part about her is that slot because I've been making so many villain decks, right? Like I sit down, I'm like, all right, make a villain deck. I'm going to put this character and put this character. How many points do I have left? Oh, I have 13. Unkar, balls. He's 15 points now. Phasma 2.
Yeah.
My God, no, she's 14 points now. And I've just been so infuriated by that because I'm just like, where is the 13 point? What are you running at 13 on villain? You're running nothing. And now you're running her, and she's a pretty cool character. Like she was fine in Rebels. I think she was actually pretty cool in the Thrawn book more than Rebels. So overall I like the character, but like this special is disgusting. So even the special chaining's fantastic, right? Obviously special chaining has been proven through and through. Grade A stuff, but she's in red, which has access to a lot of battlefield controlling abilities, such as like Lockdown, which is spot 2 red characters gain control of the battlefield, or the Ground Battalion, which is reoccurring control of the battlefield when that support's activated. So is her special good in the other sense of focused specialing it to a resource like Thrawn's resource 2, increasing it by 1, resolving 3 resources? That seems good. Or even just to a damage side or to a discard side seems really good if you're just hitting their whole hand so they can't mill you after. She just seems really legit in that sense.
Yeah, she doesn't have a bad side. Like that 2 melee side, like
That's awesome.
just
yeah.
almost seals it. Like a discard a resource and 2 specials and a blank standard. Her special's really good. You wouldn't say anything about it. And then she just has like a 2 melee. Like that's so good.
Yeah, just randomly, just sitting there.
That's just like, I feel like that just pushes it above, like at the end of the round, say you roll really well with everything, but you still have like a special left on price. It's like, all right, I'll special into 3 melee with my own character dice. Like that just seems, for a 13 point, that just seems really good. And actually, now that you asked, it's kind of funny that I think every 13 point character has been errated for villains except for Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I know. You got OG Kylo. He's just sitting there. He's like, yo, play me. And you're like, no, you have a paid side.
Yeah, really. And a special that who knows what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
It was good when Poe Maz was around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her. One other thing I want to mention is the character dash leader. So that leader subtype, I think that's going to be played with a decent amount. So I know they have to be playing with the trooper subtype, right? That has to be coming because
Yep.
they're putting in an upgrade that gives you that. Has to be coming. The fifth brother has subtype Inquisitor. I don't know if that's going to get played with. The Ezra has subtype Spectre, like you said, which is like their code name. But there's a few leaders. So you got Rex as a leader, Cassian's a leader, Price is a leader, to name a few.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's going to be played with.
False Nass.
Oh my god! I feel like that's coming. I feel like the leader subtype's going to get played with, and I feel like the trooper subtype's going to get played with. So I feel like
right now the only thing we've seen is Gungan, right? Out of subtypes, like actually
yes.
played with.
Yeah, that actually has an effect. Yeah,
a card with it.
Yep, I think so. That has something that affects it.
It's that reroll one. It's like spotted Gungan or Jar Jar, or
well,
it's like spotted Gungan or
himself has it, right? Because every time a Gungan rolls or whatever. So
yeah, that's true. Yep.
So yeah, she has me hyped. I think we should bring up the. I don't. Did you hear the discussion of Emperor's Throne Room and Arinda or no?
I know about it. We haven't talked about it yet, but yeah, as of right now. So the question is can you claim the battlefield, use her special, which of course you could, to turn a die. But the question is, do you control the battlefield, and are you able to resolve that die? And the current ruling of it right now is no. Because if you, let me see if I can scroll up.
The order in the rules that it's written of what you do. Like you first claim it, and then you choose to either use that claim ability.
You claim, you use its ability, and then you take it. And potential rumors, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, that this wording is going to be looked at and has been looked at.
Yeah, maybe just cleaned up even, like, because it just kind of feels weird in the rule book. It's not really like, it's just like sentence structure, like those sentences.
I mean, part of me feels like it wasn't even intended that way. Like you can't like claim Docking Bay, play what's that? Lookout Post? Like that's just seems dumb. Like there's certain things that it could get weird. Like if you play like Planetary at the same time, like like, but that could just be like a rules reference. Like just say, hey, Planetary doesn't work with it. But even then, like Planetary is not super relevant right now, anyways.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to get cleaned up. I don't know if it's going to be in the favor of her being able to do that or not, but I feel like it's just going to be more clear after the next.
I think it might go in her favor, but I also don't know. I mean, that's
I could totally see it. Yeah, I could see it, and if I had to guess, I'd probably be like 60-40 that it is going to go in her favor. I just don't, I'm not sure 100%, but I feel like that's important just to mention because if people are wondering, like instantly, like, oh my god, that's crazy. Right now, I don't know if you're playing a TTS game. I'd probably say you can't do that.
Yeah. Right now, I'd say it's a pretty good no. I don't remember if it was officially Jeremy saying that, but the Gandork was in the rules of quest saying that you wouldn't be able to do that because it's two separate sentences type thing. So, but I mean, regardless, she's still really good. It does take away from her a little bit, but it's like you're still fine otherwise.
Yeah, I can't tell if I want to buy in on the fact that I want to try to abuse that battlefield controlling aspect of it, or just her alone is fine. Like, and again, her in draft, again, fantastic. Like, great option. 10 points, 10 health. I know you've touched on that in previous episodes of ours, that health point ratio has been on point. And that's awesome. That's continuing. 10 points, 10 health is fantastic. But, like, I don't know if I just want to throw her in, like, 3-wide decks and just have a 13-point really solid 2-dice character, or if I want to build her with Thrawn and then just have like some weird vehicle deck or something. I don't know. Like where do you want to put her?
Everywhere.
I know.
It's like you could just do a straight aggro deck where you use her special to do damage. But like you said, you could use her special to take resources with Thrawn, take it with Chance Cube. There's just so many just good
look
options.
Look at those bangs, dude.
Look at them.
My gosh.
Look at that. And like I said, there's just no bad side on her. Like even that discard isn't as we've talked about, as we get further into sets, like all the 30 cards matter, so discard sides matter more.
Yep.
Yeah, so she's super good.
Again, she's only a rare, so I know I keep mentioning this, but I feel like that's important, and I don't know if anyone else cares, but I love that fifth brother, Ezra, and her are all rares, because they're all super playable characters that, people are leaving the game at times because they're like, wow, I have to buy 4 boxes to get a full playset. Well, like, guess what? You don't need a full playset. Like, if you don't have every card, that's okay. Like, obviously you want every card, but there are plenty of viable decks for very cheap options. And like, they're putting these cards. Obviously, some of these legendaries are really good, but some of the best cards here are just the rares. Like, she might be my favorite card that's been released yet, and she's just a rare.
Yep.
Because they want to make the legendaries slightly more fancy, slightly harder to use, something along those lines. But, you know, she's just straight up good, and she's only rare, so everyone should have plenty of access to her, which is good. You don't want to have these cards that no one has access to. You don't want a 4-speed in Ancient Lightsaber situation, you know?
Yep.
Are we good with
Seems
her?
Good. Yeah, we're good with her. On the next one.
This has me feeling some type of way, Jack. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. This thing is glorious. All right, we got the Planetary Bombardment. It has a 4 what is this? 4 indirect damage, 5 indirect damage, 6 indirect damage for $1, 7 indirect damage for $1, 4 disrupt, and then the last side is unknown, but I'm pretty sure it's a 12 shield side. That's my guess. It costs 6 resources, is a support, has ambush, and after you play the support, you may deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of vehicles that you spot. Thoughts?
I just realized it had ambush. I'm too busy staring at the 4 disrupt side and just laughing.
What is that?
It's like, what is that even? Oh, that's so funny. Honestly, where we're at now, it's not impossible to get a 6 cost out. It's like the ATSD. Like, if you want to build a deck where you play the ATSD, you can. It's more, why would I want to play the ATSD? Like, it's not very good. While Planetary Bombardment, like, if you delve into this, like, it seems like a solid play.
It seems crazy. Did I say legendary, by the way? I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is a legendary.
Yeah, villain legendary. Oh, dude, come on. I gave you this chance.
Dropping the ball.
It seems pretty good. Yeah, it's just like, I wonder how much you'll actually be able to take advantage of its ability with the indirect damage equal to the number of vehicles you spot. Because, like, if I get this opening hand and a delve and I get my 3rd resource, do I wait to play this? Like, no, I think I just play it. So I don't know how much that will come into play. But man, like, 7 if you get the 7 indirect damage side, dude, imagine price chaining into that 8 indirect back-to-back rounds.
Goodbye.
Oh my god, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, it's just
16 damage.
Crazy. And I do think its ability actually has I think it's going to play an important role. Question, can you spot itself? If it says after you play the support,
it's not a vehicle.
It's not a vehicle. Good point. So you can, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it's an after, so it would be in play. But yeah, it's not a vehicle.
Not a vehicle. Okay. So that's just, I mean, so they also, one thing they mentioned, I didn't realize, they reworded that one thing. Remember when we were talking about the hype of this set and they said the highest costed support coming out or whatever? I believe it was Inception in our Discord showed us, or linked that. Yeah. And now it says the highest cost, the highest value die side, not the highest cost support. So thinking the 7's it, right? I mean, the 7's the highest cost die side we've seen. And for 1, it's crazy. And you're right. If you're chaining into that unmitigatably, just destroying people. What do you think this 6th side of the die is, and why are they teasing us so hard?
I hate them.
I really want to know.
It's funny because I actually even think it was Inception that you mentioned that zoomed in, like enhanced it like 3 or 4 times, and you still can't tell if it's like, at least I can't.
I can't. I get the red, but like the red could be the top of the die because the die side is the circle, but then there's red in there.
That's what I mean. Even zoomed in all the way, like he enhanced it really well to where it was like clear, but like you still can't. There's like you still like.
I don't think it's
I wouldn't
blank,
listen to anybody.
I don't think it's blank. I don't know what it is though. What comes after disrupt,
4 resources?
Right? So resources are after disrupt, specials are after disrupt.
Or special, but we obviously know there's no special. So it's got to be resources if it's something.
Or it's blank. Yeah.
Does this? No. Well, all right. So look, if we scroll back up to Ezra, he's got a disrupt discard resource blank. Dude, what if it's like a 4 discard, dude?
Just buy. Goodbye to your hand.
Goodbye to your resources. Goodbye to your hand. But I guess you probably want to resolve the 8 or 7.
Man.
Indirect every time. Rather
it seems fun.
Unless you have a lot more supports, then it's like, all right, if I discard you 4, you can't mitigate the 4 other supports.
I mean, I do love like the launch bay 5 discard when you rolled the launch bay's discard side when you first activated. It was so brutal. Yeah. But can you spam vehicles in villain right now as well as you can in hero? And are there as many good ones that you even want to play? I don't know. You know, like Sebulba's Pod Racer seems actually pretty good with this card, right? Like 2 cost, consistently deals a bunch of indirect damage. Not bad. And it's a vehicle.
Is that considered a vehicle?
Yeah, vehicle pod racer. I'm pretty sure it
Okay.
says.
Well, yeah, I exited out of that, so
Um,
wasn't able to look. But yeah, that does seem.
like it's not bad, and like I'm trying to think of other vehicles that are cheap. Like Lightside really has a lot of the good ones. But you have like the Z95.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you can.
the Z95 is a 2 cost. And that, but it's like there's no 2 cost. Like it's all really like you could play the TIE fighter,
Yeah,
you could play the ATDP, you could play the Fang fighter.
yeah. The only two I can think of is like the pod racer and the Z95 off the top of my head. Oh, you got Kylo
You
Ren,
could the
Starfighter.
yeah, Kylo Ren Starfighter, and what is the other one where you put it indirect on itself?
Oh, the Hawk. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hawk. But it's
Yeah,
like
it hurts.
Villains currently doesn't have a way to take it off, so I don't know if you really want to play that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm sure there's more we're missing, but it's just I don't know how well that ability it's going to have, but like that is technically damage from hand. I know it costs 6 to play, but
Yeah.
like that's still
Yeah.
something to be wary about in a deck where they're running rampant with resources. If they're showing 3 vehicles, it's like anytime they want, they can drop
3
6
damage,
as ambush too, right? Like so if you're showing a 2 melee with price or whatever, you drop it, there's 3 damage, and your ambush is resolve melee or something stupid. Like that card a lot.
I kind of wish it was support because then it would be like super good with Afra. Like imagine if you had like BT and BB9 out for like really cheap, so that way when you play this, like you have money for that.
I'm just sad now, Jack.
But I feel like
I'm just sad that it's vehicle.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's
Yeah,
that would be absurd. Yeah, BT for 1, free BB9E. Like, oh my gosh, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, and then them adding into the indirect sides. Yeah, it would be super good that way. It'll be interesting. I wonder if there is like I'm not somebody that's been keeping track of like dice cards that we're still expecting type thing.
Me either. I haven't looked exactly at like if people are like one of this coming, one more of these coming. I don't know what the list is, but
I don't know if there will be any other red ones because you figure we've gotten Grievous's wheel bike and planetary bombardment for villains. So unless there's a neutral one, and also like a gray one, could potentially anything. Well, and then of course if you go into other colors, I don't know, but yeah. So this it could. I think it could be more, even though it's a 6 cost with stuff like Imperial backing and Delve. And I guess I should explain Delve. It's deal 1 indirect damage to yourself, play a support or upgrade from your hand for free, and it's a 3 cost. And Imperial backing, let me check the exact wording on it, but it says play a support from your hand, decreasing its cost by 1 for each character you have, and it has ambush, it costs 2. So if you play like a 4-wide deck, you pay 2, bring its cost down to 2, so it costs 4. I don't know. That's still not pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you got to do it with Delve.
I'm just glad it's we're friends and high. So if you're showing 7 value more, discard 3 cards, you get lucky and have that. But that's going to rotate out. So I think moving on to like the trilogies talk, like I feel like Price is going to be around for a long time. She's going to be nasty consistently.
Well, Delve will be in here, and actually both of them. I think
Delve, Friends and High. I'm talking about Friends and High will not.
Oh yeah.
But so Delve will still be an option. So like, will villain vehicles, and that's exactly what I was getting at. Will villain vehicles actually see play in Standard? I don't know, but it might see play in trilogies. Like that, like Tarkin Afra already sees some play in trilogies, right? And that's got a lot of supports in it. And then moving on, like this definitely adds something to villain vehicles. There's some options.
Yeah, dude. Hit these next 2.
Oh man, so we got 0 cost red villain event common card called Testing Procedure. So activate up to 2 of your supports. Then if any of those support dice just roll damage, gain 1 resource. And we also have Art of War. It's Thrawn staring at Hera's little family object thing. Villain, uncommon, 2 cost event. Spot a red character to reveal an opponent's hand. For each card you just revealed, remove a die showing a value that is equal to that card's cost. I don't know how I feel about these.
Testing Procedure, I feel like is actually better in trilogies right now. Like with like Tarkin Afra, for example, like is what I kind of thought of, where you're playing these supports. Like if you have BT out and then you do that, and do it like with Archangel and suddenly roll out like all your supports.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some Archangel.
And BT, like for example, has 4 damage sides, so you're likely to get that resource. And trilogies right now. And it could change with this new set, of course, but right now I feel like it's kind of struggling for resources unless you play like Yoda. So I feel like Testing Procedure might have a spot in trilogies, but not so much. Like I don't know if I ever run that in Standard.
It's like a Smuggler's Run, like I was talking about earlier when you activate a yellow character. It's like that, but for supports and villain, and you have to roll damage, and then you get a resource. Like it's interesting. It speeds you up a little bit. and you could make $1 out of it. Which, like, you're right, it does help in situations where you have BT and Archangel because they both do have paid sides for damage. So
Yeah.
resource might help you. Again, it's just the problem is the 30 card slot, like the 30 card
Yeah.
limit. It's tough to see it. And then Art of War is just some weird pseudo removal that just feels very odd.
Yeah, I think it's better than Trickery, but still really bad.
So Trickery is the yellow one where you discard your own hand, right?
Yeah, you discard your own hand to do it. But like this is like, you're taking a gamble. Like at least Trickery, you do know what's in your hand, but like I hate discarding my hand. But it's like, yeah, you're taking a chance on what's in their hands. And also, like I use this example, like if you're playing Price and you have 2 specials showing and you're playing against Yoda and he has 2 specials showing and you look at his hand and he's got 4 0 costs, you have to remove your own dice. So for each card revealed, remove a die showing that value that is equal to that card's cost.
Yeah, I see that.
Doesn't say opponent's die. It says for each card, remove a die. So if you reveal 4 even cost in that specific situation, you'd have to start removing your own die.
Yeah, I feel like you can, kind of play it when you want. Like, if it's they just rolled in a big character, then you use this right then, and then you just hope you get something.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. Like, they're probably going to be drawing a 3-cost upgrade if it's like a normal deck, right? Like toward that end, or a 2-cost upgrade, stuff like that. And they're rolling out a character like Boba, like Seventh Sister, something along those lines, and they're showing 2 damage or whatever. And if you just remove, even if you just get 2 or 3 of their dice out with Art of War, you got to see their whole hand, and you got to remove, 2 or 3 dice. But like you said, it's just you can't play this when your own dice are in the pool and they don't have like all different values because you might end up screwing yourself a little bit there.
And that's the weird thing too, is like if Thrawn is on there, and Thrawn seems like he'd be good with it, but then like you activate Thrawn to see the hand, and now his dice are in the pool type thing.
Yeah. I could see it just in like a slower type deck. Like if you're just kind of playing vehicles, chilling out, and then you just kind of Art of War when they have a bunch of dice out because they're moving quicker than you. And, it could be blowout, right? Like cards like this, I hate to pass by. I hate to be like, no, that sucks, because it really could remove so many different dice at the same time. But it's just like we're in like the weird days of removal for Destiny. You don't see like Flank or Doubt or things like that. You're seeing these weirder cards, and you see Doubt and Flank getting reprinted in the 2-player kit, so they stay relevant. But it's just some of these removal cards, they're like high risk, high reward, and it's just it. I don't know if those risks normally aren't the risks that I want to take when I'm playing Destiny. I want to take high risk, high rewards with like certain activations, things like that. But for removal, like if I need to remove a die, I want to be 100% sure I can remove that die to save my character. And that's my only like quarrel with this card.
Yeah, I agree. You're going to remove all your own dice, Shane. Don't worry about it.
I'm probably just going to like roll an Afro. They're going to have no dice in, and I'm just going to play this and be like, this was sick.
Yeah, basically. And then just for, the standard trilogies draft, I think testing procedures will be decent in trilogies and probably a little bit better in draft. But standard, not so much. Art of War, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to do it in any of them.
Now I'm obsessed with it.
I might try it or something, but yeah.
Staring at it, I'm like, now I have to use it.
You're basically bound to it now.
Yeah. So now what I really want to see moving forward, and I know we're getting toward the end of this episode, we're pretty deep in, so thanks for sticking with us. But what I want to see is some freaking yellow cards that aren't pod racing based. I mean, Cassian was dope, but we already knew he was coming, so it was slightly like less revealing. And Stealthy was dope, but like Cassian already we knew. I want to see villain yellow stuff, and I want to see it just come out. Like villain yellow is so freaking cool. So many bounty hunters, so many dope people. Like I want to see some of this stuff. Like come on, like Sebulba's fine, but like come on, guys. Give me something crazy.
Yellow Villain is dumb because a card like Bait and Switch exists.
Bait and Switch is
I hate that card.
Well, speaking of spoilers, are we going to have any to show, Joe?
Yeah. So for our listeners, I know that we will be having Jeremy on at some point in the next week or two. And rumor has it is that he might be bringing a surprise or two with him. So definitely stay focused and on the lookout for our recording in the next week or two. The date isn't locked down yet, so I don't, whether it's the 21st or the 28th or whenever in June, but sometime late June, we're going to be sitting down, talk with him, about Destiny, and apparently he's bringing some spoilers with
It's
us.
so funny because I'm super excited
about that.
Like guessing what they're going to be, and Tommy like wants it to be Plagueis so bad, Darth Plagueis, because I think Jeremy referenced Darth Plagueis in the interview with Chansky, and Tommy's like upset he asked to bring him. He's like, if it's Darth Plagueis, Tommy might cry on on the podcast in front of all of you people.
Jeremy will just be like, so here's a spoiler, Darth Plagueis, and then you'll just hear Tommy just like screaming in the background, just like like slamming his headphone on the table and running away.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, screaming to like his child, Tommy Jr., we got him. We got him.
Oh my gosh. I would love for it to be something Han Solo based. I don't know if that's coming in this set or the next set, but I would also love it to be something yellow villain. Let me see some sweet yellow villain stuff.
Stay away from that.
Let me see Bait and Switch 2.
Oh my gosh, no. If that is reprinted, podcast is over.
Bait and Switch 2.
Podcast is done.
Oh, we didn't mention Store Championships.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we didn't even get a chance to talk about that. Like I said, dude, we had so much to catch up on this week.
Yeah, Jack and I just got coffee like earlier this morning. We talked all day, and now we're doing this.
That's not true.
That's what happened.
I try to avoid
he doesn't
you.
like me.
All right. So I'll just read through the prizes and say what they are, and then we could just give our thoughts on them. But yeah, so top 32. So basically, really participation. Store championships don't normally get more than 32 people. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's going to be a 4-speed with Tiplar and Tip Lee. If you've watched Clone Wars, you know who they are, and they're probably arguably one of the best arcs on the TV show. It's about Order 66 and how the clones kind of got brainwashed and stuff like that. So it's really good. And it's also Tinker will be the other one, and they fixed the cost on it. There's been a little like
they cost 2 now.
Yeah, cost 2. Yeah, so they're basically just saying if you bring like a 1 cost, like the misprinted one, you can turn it in. I believe is what they're trying to do with that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, good to them for fixing that. I really like that. Top 8, they're doing deck boxes again, and this one, the Phasma, and it had like best defense on the side of it. This one has Ahsoka on the top with her alt art, which is awarded to the top 2, and then it has on the side of it, it has Tiplar and Tip Lee on it, and I believe on the side that it's not currently pictured in the article, at least. I believe is the Padawan picture from Awakenings.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's right.
And I really like it. I like the white, I think all the white boxes and promotions that Star Wars have done for The Last Jedi and all their current products looks really sleek and nice. So
yeah, I totally agree. Block 2's looked really, really pretty that way.
Yeah. And then playmat, top 4, same thing again. And it is basically the same art from 4 Speed, but on a mat.
Extended a little
and
bit.
it looks amazing.
It looks really
good. It looks even better because you can actually see what's going on. You can see a droid with his head chopped off. And then top 2 is Ahsoka. And basically the alt art for that, if you haven't seen it yet, it is the Unbreakable art. And also on the thing, it has like right above the character, it has first and second. So you actually will get like a little, what's foil stamped, I guess it would be, right? Right on there with your place. Dude, so I have to say, I love this. I think FFG hit it out of the park in terms of these and replacing Tinker. My only complaint is that I think every kit, and this is like universal, I think all the quarterly kits of that block, the time that they take place in, should be cards from that block. So like that's why I was annoyed. It was Holdout Blaster, not Hidden Blaster. So I'm a little bit upset, annoyed that it's 4 Speed and Ahsoka, simply because they will rotate out. Some people, aren't sure about the timelines of everything to say, but it won't rotate out at the end of this year. The next, with the way the sets are going, it might not actually come out to like Worlds next year. It's like, all right, even if it lasts me 9 months, they could release something that lasts me a year, 9 months type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. And like, if they do want to release an Ahsoka alt art, like it sucks that they didn't prior, but like if they do want to release it, like they do have to get it out now. So like I get what they're doing, because like if they don't get it out now, then it's just this times 10, like our complaint times 10, because it's like, oh, I have 3 months to play an Ahsoka deck. So I get it. But yeah, I'd rather it be the block you're in, release cards that are in this block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really doubt 4 Speed's getting or reprinted, right? Like
no.
we don't recurring action cheating.
Yeah.
Jeremy's not like that. So I doubt that's coming in for reprint. I doubt Ahsoka's going to get reprinted. She's just going to get probably hopefully another version of herself. So like, I get the complaint. I do. I feel for you.
But it's like it's kind of a shame because like I said, I love the artwork of 4 Speed. I love that they're reprinting Tinker. I love the way the box looks. I love the mat. I love the Ahsoka and the foil stamped. Like, I just love everything about it. Store Champs is one of my favorite things in Destiny.
Yeah.
But please update the cards. You know, make them just within that block. And
literally everything else about this is great. Like owning up to their mistake of the Tinker and stuff like that, replacing that. That's sick. Like the artwork is so good for these two Jedi in that season 6 arc is so awesome. Like the foil stamp is cool. The deck boxes are great. Like everything's sick. Like other than what cards they chose, like I love it. And you know, that's not going to ruin it for me. Like I'm still super amped about it, even if it's other cards. I still want an Ahsoka. I really want the mat. I really want a deck box. So all that, I'm still on board.
Oh, 100%. I'll be upset if I don't, you know, get an Ahsoka. Like it's, I mean, and that's not even competitive from me. It's just like, awesome. It looks awesome. I want it.
Looking on that, and so is the mat. So
I'm excited. And going off of that, if you are in the South Jersey area and you're not in our Facebook group, definitely get in contact with me. Shoot me an email at goldendicepodcast@gmail.com, and I can hook you up with our Facebook group for the South Jersey, Philly area. I did a little like Google map. Andrew Cox did the same thing for Florida and Massachusetts, I believe, or Connecticut. That again, that whole area is just like, they're like the same state to me.
Florida and Connecticut?
No, Massachusetts and Connecticut.
What on earth?
No. Yeah, he definitely did Florida, but I'm not sure if it was Connecticut or Massachusetts. He did the second one for. He did it for Mike Jem. He did it for Bobby Sapphire.
That makes more sense.
I don't remember exactly which state he resides in up there.
Boston's dumb. Sorry. Tom Brady
Super Bowl, baby.
On the
Tom Brady lost to a backup quarterback. But yeah, if you're not in there, we could put you in the New Jersey one. I basically messaged Reflex and asked him what he did and copied it for New Jersey. So it's definitely a way for you to keep up to date. But I also think somebody took all the dates and put them into a giant one. That's a little overwhelming for me because I only need, you know, the 20 or 30 that are in my area.
Like I love Alaska, but I don't care when your store champion is. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And on that, our local store that we go to on Wednesdays, I can only do it over the summer on Wednesdays because I work during the year on Wednesdays during the school year. That store, All the King's Men, Pittman, New Jersey, July 28th. If you guys are looking to attend that, definitely hit me up so we can definitely talk and say hi. Not July 20. Yeah, July 28th. Yep. So we will be there. Shane won't be there. Shane doesn't play Destiny. He just keeps coming on the podcast and saying that he does and talks about shields, probably because he doesn't actually know the value of any other dice size.
Only Riggs would know where I'm going to be. So Riggs, I'll let you guess, and you can message me on Facebook and be like, I know where it would be. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Yeah, really. So what happens if Riggs doesn't actually
Riggs going to be like, people are just going to tell Riggs.
Yeah, really. So Riggs, Shane said something about you.
Smack talking.
Cool, yeah, Store Champs, and I'll be updating that chart or that map with the dates as they come in as well for the other ones around us. And yeah, that's the South Jersey. Well, actually, I put all of New Jersey ones in there. I put the Philadelphia area and also some Maryland and Delaware Store Champs in there because I like to go to as many as I can simply because I seriously have such a blast going to them.
Yeah, and we probably have 9 within like a 2-hour drive of us. So like, if you're from this area, get in touch because there's plenty.
Dude, that's even it might even be more. Like we have 9 just in New Jersey, and the furthest one is Boonton, I think, and that's 2 hours.
Yeah, that's all the way up there.
And we have like 2 right in the Philly area, and then there's like if you go south, there's like 6 more that are all within 2 hours.
From Delaware.
Yeah, that way. Yeah. Delaware and Maryland. There's a lot of good places.
Connecticut and stuff.
Connecticut and Florida, same place. Last 2 plugs, I guess. Kappa Cup coming up October 12th to 14th. It is in Grantville, PA, which is right outside Hershey, and it's at the Holiday Inn Conference Center. And it really is just all Star Wars games. So this isn't if you play Imperial Assault, if you play Armada, X-Wing, Legion, etc. You can get tickets for the whole weekend and sign up for the tournaments, but the Destiny is on Saturday. So all 3 of us are going. Shane might buy tickets maybe one time.
Dude, I've been trying to buy
in the near future.
And by trying, I mean I just have completely forgot continuously.
By trying, I mean I've thought about it a few times and then never did.
Yeah, I just got so sunburnt in the last couple of weeks that I was just like, nah.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah, I got fried, dude. Oh my gosh. But no, I will be purchasing a ticket when Jack hangs up. So it's happening.
Yep. Sure. If you say so. It's really, it'll be great. We're going to be there. Jackalman Games will be there. Mr. Chip will be there. And it'll just be a good time. We'll be doing some raffles and some giveaways, potentially Way of the Force box at that time.
And it's all for charity. I don't know if you mentioned that. It's all for the I think the Philadelphia.
Yes, all charity.
Come through.
Yeah, and Chip's even doing like a side event, and I think the entry fee is like 3 canned goods instead of like a paid entry fee type thing, which is really cool.
Yeah, I love those type of things. We used to do those. We had Food Machine instead of War Machine. We used to do those every year for a tabletop game, and they're a blast. You can do different things where you get donate 2 extra cans, you get an extra reroll of your dice, stuff like that, just to make it like a fun thematic tournament. So bring your pod racing. Let's have some fun.
And PAX Unplugged. That is the last weekend of November, like into December. And that's in Philadelphia. That's a GQ. We look forward. So like the actual Destiny tickets haven't gone on sale, but the PAX Unplugged have. And I bought a 3-day pass. I might only be there 2 days, but the difference between 2 days and 3 days was $5. So I was like, why not? Just in case I can go both days. I'll know closer to, depending on work, anything like that. So PAX Unplugged should be a blast. And it kicks off the new Galactic Qualifier season. So I expect maybe a change in the mats, maybe, I would think. Characters, maybe they rotate out like the old block. I don't know what they have planned, so that's something to keep an eye out for.
Pretty far away, but get your tickets.
Yeah, exactly. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Destiny Down Under for hooking me up with the spoilers on TTS.
Yes.
So they gave me some of those, so that's how I was able to mess around with Ezra and his lightsaber and stuff like that. And it's definitely floating around. I know you can grab them from Jackalman Games or Destiny Down Under, and RebelSpy is doing it. So they're definitely out there for you guys to grab if you are looking to mess around a little bit on TTS. As we wait for the release, my guess is July 12th, 28th for pre-release.
Inception's guess, dude.
If you say so, dude. If you say so. You probably said it before me. I'm not saying that. But as soon as I saw the Team Covenant on the 28th, 29th weekend or whatever, I was like, bet you there's some type of small pre-release for them. And then 12th, I think GameStop's legit because they normally do it at like the end of the month if they're just doing like reserve the date type thing. Yeah. But this is like, why would they do it 2 weeks in type thing? So,
yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts, Shane?
Hi, Mom.
All right. Goodbye, Mom.